I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. Let's get started with the indictment that's going to happen, I believe, probably by tomorrow or early next week, of Alvin Bragg indicting Donald Trump on what would really be, under all circumstances, a misdemeanor of paying off a porn star, Stormy Daniels. Allegedly, Trump had sex with this porn star, Stormy Daniels, and then she was going, when he started running for president, she said, "Oh, I got a video of us together, of you and I together, and so I'm going to pull it up on Facebook if you don't pay me some money." She asked for $130,000. Maybe she got $130,000. Michael Cohen, who was Trump's fixer at the time, facilitate the payment. But somehow or another, through some tangle I don't even understand myself, Michael Cohen was able to make it look like he was retained by Trump, and Trump was paying him a retainer for counsel on his campaign. But that was a lie. And Michael Cohen, he was good to go with Trump at the time. But so what the deal is this, is Stormy Daniels said, "I'm going to tell the world we were in the sack together unless you pay me so much amount of money." I don't know how much it was, but anyway, they settled. Michael Cohen handled the settlement. So it ended up to $130,000. So the way Michael Cohen paid Stormy Daniels, but the way Trump got the money to Michael Cohen is that he said that Michael Cohen was on a retainer for him and his campaign. In other words, acting as his lawyer. That was a lie. That was not true. Well, he was acting as his lawyer, but this was money that was being filtered to somebody else, and Trump didn't want anybody to know where the money was going, where $130,000 is kind of hard to hide that kind of money in bank records. At any rate, it can go from a misdemeanor to a felony because of Trump now says, and Michael Cohen, who's spent Michael Cohen was sentenced to 4 years. I think he spent a year or so up in one of these federal prisons, Otisville. Yeah, Michael Cohen, he's been disbarred. He spent 1.5 to 2 years in Otisville for lying about the hush money. But in the affidavit that the feds put together against Michael Cohen, they said there was also, person number one. So it appears now that Alvin Bragg, Cyrus Vance was the first one to pick this case up. Alvin Bragg was elected last year in the November elections. He dropped it, but now he's picked it up again. And it appears that Alvin Bragg is going to indict Trump. He's going to be the first one. Trump's first indictment will be here in New York by Alvin Bragg, this Hamite brother, right? I don't know if you call him a brother or not, but I don't know if I even call him a Hamite, quite frankly, Alvin Bragg. So it's on. I think everybody's pretty sure that Trump's going to be indicted. The problem is that the case stinks to high heaven, if you ask me. Now, listen, I don't have a dog in this fight, right? Pastor Man, you out there trying to defend Trump? No. I'm just, can I just report? Can I be objective about reporting? My God, without some. But I tell you what, this case stinks to high heavens. Why is Alvin Bragg now? This case was prosecuted by the Feds Department of Justice against Michael Cohen 6 years ago almost now. 5 years ago at the very least. Why didn't they prosecute Trump at the same time? Say, well, he was president, and they couldn't because you can't bring, Well, they could have waited after he was left office back in 2020, and prosecuted him then, back in 2021 rather. So I think the case stinks to high heavens. I think he's going to get indicted and may get convicted of a felony charge. Because it's pretty clear, it's kind of hard to hide the records of what actually went on. But I got some questions. I think the case is weak, but prosecutable. And I think a jury will convict. So my question is, why is it that Alvin Bragg, who dropped the case, and one of his main lawyers investigating, one of the white shoe law firm lawyers, Pomerantz, I forget what his first name is, left Alvin Bragg in the New York District Attorney's Office because, Bragg didn't want to go forward, but now Bragg wants to go forward. So here. There are a couple of things I want to say. Why is Alvin Bragg not doing this when he wouldn't do it 6 months ago? All right, wouldn't do it a year ago. Why is he doing it now? And why is he? Well, here. My question is Alan Weisselberg, who's now sitting out in Rikers Island, out on that barge? I don't know if you ever seen Rikers Island. Virtuous Debbie Myers works out there in Rikers Island. She teaches school out there to them knuckleheads out there, them 16, 17-year-old boys who ain't got no sense, in jail, can't read, can't write. So virtuous knuckle sandwich Debbie Myers, she's a knuckle sandwich woman, knuckle sandwich Debbie Myers. Anyway, Alan Weisselberg is out there, and did he make a deal to tell more information about Trump? That's what I think. And I'm trying to figure all this out. I think I think Alvin Bragg has now decided to bring this case for one or two reasons. I can't be sure which is the reason. Number one is that Alan Weisselberg, who was the chief financial officer for the Trump organization, even when Trump's father was running the organization, and has been with him all these years, but who also went to prison because of tax evasion on monies that were paid to him under the table, is now ready to sing like a bird, like a Rikers Island bird, if you want. I don't know if that's the case. I suspect, and that could give the District Attorney Bragg more chops. And the other thing is that Michael Cohen has testified 21 times, either before the grand jury. That doesn't make much sense, 21 times before the grand jury. Or he has testified before Alvin Bragg himself or Cyrus Vance. So I don't know, maybe if Alan Weisselberg has cut a deal, and the deal could be that if Alan Weisselberg did not testify at Trump's trial of paying the hush money to Stormy Daniels, District Attorney Bragg was going to go after Alan Weisselberg's children. His children are in their 50s, but they got the grandbabies and everything. Well, you don't want to see your son going to jail and your grandchildren, daddy's in jail because of Trump. That's what I think I smell. I don't know if it's true or not. I think I smell Alan Weisselberg is willing to testify at the trial when Trump is brought on trial for not tax evasion, but campaign finance violation, which is a felony. And Alan Weisselberg is going to testify how the money was conjured up. And the reason why Alan Weisselberg is going to testify is because he's been sitting out there in Rikers Island now for 5 months. And Alvin Bragg said, if you don't testify, we're going to go after your children and because your children are guilty of tax evasion as well. And I think that's what I think is happening. What do you think? Tell me what you think. That's what I think is going on. Otherwise, there'll be no point. This case is 5 years old, my God. And Trump is going to scream like a stuck pig. He's going to be all over the place. Actually, I think, what I think. I say I don't have a dog in this fight. But I think this is going to bolster Trump's presidential, Republican Party nomination, because he's going to be, this boy, what's his name down there, Ron DeSantis, I'm not against him either. In fact, I like the fact he's chasing all this woke stuff. I might go down there and campaign. I think I'll go campaign for what Ron DeSantis. What do y'all think? I wouldn't do that. No, I'm not going to do that. Scratch that. I ain't going to hardly do that. I ain't going to listen. I'm just yo chiste solamente. Means I'm only joking. I ain't going to do that. But I do want to say this. I think that if Trump gets indicted, there ain't going to be nothing else on the news. I do declare the Pope, a man can give birth to a baby, which ain't never happened in annals of history, and that won't get no, Trump is going to be everywhere on everybody's news. Fox News is going to be begging Alvin Bragg to take away the indictment because everybody's now getting a piece of Trump. Trump might even come to New York and sit down here in ATLAH with me. He might, he might do that. Trump's that kind of guy. Probably if I called him and asked him to come to Harlem, he might do it. What do you think? You think I should call Trump And they said, no, but I've said a lot of things about Trump. I've called him a liar. you know, Trump seems, listen, Tucker Carlson said he hates Trump passionately. And they still jig it together. So Trump's not very thin-skinned if you start talking about his character. I don't think he really cares to call him a liar or anything else. I might call him and ask him to come to one interview here in New York City. I don't think I'm going to do that either, but I might. I don't think. Anyway, I think, here's what I think. What's happening, as you know, what I think is always right. Always, never wrong. Well, the other day I was wrong about, what's that girl, Jada Pinkett and Will Smith's. Why did he call her? Anyway, his wife was having sex with somebody and then got on a national online program and began to tell the details about her having sex with another man. Well, she'd married to Will Smith. Then Will Smith slapped, what's his face? Maybe Chris Rock was having sex with her too. And maybe that's why he slapped him. I don't know. I was wrong about that. I was saying that some of these women in the rap industry ought to bring Jada Pinkett to task. I was wrong, because I don't keep up with that kind of stuff. But anyway, going back to going back to Trump being indicted here in New York, it's going to happen. But if he does get indicted, all we're going to hear because Trump loves the camera, that boy loves the microphone, and everybody going to be asking him all kind of questions. I don't know, how many of y'all, raise your hand, how many of y'all remember when John Gotti was on trial here in New York? John Gotti, when they had him on trial there for racketeering in New York, that boy came to trial every day dressed, pressed, and ironed. Every hair was in place, and Gotti loved it. John Gotti loved it when he was on trial. He wanted the trial to last longer because every day the cameras were chasing him all around everywhere. Let me tell you something. John Gotti won't have nothing on Trump coming to trial here in New York. That boy, and you're going to see Trump supporters come up out of Mississippi. They're going to come up out of Alabama. They're going to come up out of Kentucky, out of Florida, out of Georgia, out of Mississippi. You can have Trump supporters all over sleeping out on the federal courthouse on the center courthouse steps. It's going to be something here in New York. I might move from New York while Trump is here, while the trial's going, because you ain't gonna everybody gonna be here in New York. Trump people are coming to New York. A bunch of them rednecks are gonna come in, all of them. They're gonna come up here wearing their cowboy boots, and I'll tell y'all, brother, something now. You can't bring your guns up here to New York, man. These police up here in New York will arrest you. Like y'all do down in Florida and every place else. You run around all them guns on you all the time. And the way you did down there in the insurrection on January 6th. However, I do think that this is going to, and then I don't know if Fani Willis is going to indict. I think she's scheduled to indict. I think she's planning on indicting, and Trump down there in Georgia. And then so I tell you what I'm going to do. If Trump gets indicted, my crew, my trusty media crew, we're going to take our camera and microphone and we're going to go down to the courthouse. And we're going to cover it from the, what do you think about that? I think that would be great. Trump's going to love it. Trump's going to love this better than having sex with Stormy Daniels if he gets indicted. And then if he gets indicted, Merrick Garland, that boy Jack Smith, who's a special prosecutor, is going to indict him, Trump, too. I'm not sure for what, whether it would be the documents at Mar-a-Lago or whether his involvement in the January 6th assault on the Temple of Democracy. I don't know which is going to be, but Merrick Garland's going to invite. So we won't even, you'll think Trump is president again. You won't even hear anything about Joe Biden because Trump is going to be every camera, people just going to hear what Trump got to say about all what's going on. And he's going to still run for president. And you ain't going to never see Trump inside no jail cell, I can tell you that now. I don't think so, which what I think is always right. But I don't think you're going to ever see Trump. I think he might get convicted, though. But if he gets convicted, you know what, in America, this is America, you can appeal it. And who said, well, we're going to reject your bail? Trump will say, who the hell you think I am, black? Think I'm one of these black people from that Harlem where you can just reject my bail? You done lost your mind. He'll appeal that too. So I figured I'll pour all that out on y'all today because I figured y'all want to know. And I'm up here in New York. I'm the only reporter here in New York. I mean, Fox News is here, but, Fox News has got their own problem right now. Fox is having a problem with Dominion voting system. Tucker Carlson and all them people got all those emails. And what were they thinking about when they were sending those text messages to everybody? About how they hate Trump, how they want to get rid of him, how he, and that Sidney Powell woman lying and lying and lying, and then Rupert Murdoch says he hates Trump or he wants to get rid of him. Then they said, well, we got to keep promoting his stuff because if we don't, we're going to lose the audience to Newsmax. And, Newsmax is not ready to cover. I would tell you this, I can tell you that. I know when I tell you how the Trump people left me, they did. They didn't come back in, they're all gone. Man, I tell you, I was running 1 million views a week. I can't even get 200 now. All the Trump people left me. But I don't think Newsmax, I don't think they will stay with, I don't think Newsmax is organized enough, and they don't have the facilities throughout, all the various states to kind of keep at any rate about it. Trump, I believe Trump's going to be indicted. It may happen on Thursday, which is this week, or it may happen early next week. But Alvin Bragg, if Alvin Bragg don't indict this boy, he's going to have to resign. At any rate, I'm James Hibbert, demanding everybody, I'm the Lord's servant.